Hello guys, welcome back to Tweedle Time. Once again, my name is Andrew, the host.
And I am co-host James.
And today, no special guest.
Yeah. Because we couldn't find anyone who knows as much as we do on the Chinese Civil War.
I'm the man that knows about China.
Yeah, he's the communism man.
But hey, that sounds too close to me calling me a communist.
I mean, you're always wearing red.
I'm not wearing red today.
You know the Soviet national anthem.
I'm not wearing any red today.
You know a lot about Stalin, Lenin, Marxism in general.
Hey, in my defense, I'm not wearing any red today.
Whoa, what's that then?
I can explain. It's actually red and gray, so it's fascism.
You don't strike me as a fascist.
I would say something that could strike you as a fascist, but I could immediately probably get age restricted.
I don't want that. Age restricted on our videos is not fun times.
Yeah. Even if we can't get demonetized, we don't monetize them. We can definitely get age restricted.
We could, quite easily.
Even though it's just audio. So
It's literally just audio and not even anything bad, but, you
so
know.
probably get age restricted.
No, my communist friend. Shall we continue?
We shall. Okay, I'm going to stop before I actually
Let's
accuse of being...
continue our video.
I feel like I'm going to accuse of being a communist if I continue
For the
this.
people.
So basically, what ended up happening is the Qing dynasty was basically on its way out because basically the cycle of China was the dynasty would ride up. It was keep the people as peasants in mind for a while, then get corrupt, and then the peasants would revolt, set up a new one, and it would just keep happening. Then the Mongols would come, and then they set up a new one after that, and it kept going until we get to the Qing.
Yeah, they had that whole cycle for basically...
And they decided that what if we conquer the Mongols, they can't invade us.
Genius.
Which did work, but they forgot about the peasant part.
Yeah, no. Never underestimate the peasants.
So, basically that was
It's a dangerous mistake.
This one guy decided that the government sucked, so he decided to do a revolt. It eventually worked.
Wasn't that the Taiping?
Yeah.
Was the Taiping during the Qing?
That was definitely during the Qing, yeah.
Oh, that kind of screwed up the Qing. It didn't destroy it, though.
Yeah.
They got lucky.
The Heavenly Kingdom, the true Chinese dynasty.
Oh, yes. And the leader is Jesus' brother.
Yeah. So basically the Boxer Rebellion that really screwed them because they were like mixing with them, they wanted to put it down, and then the British and all of them were like, yeah, you know what, you're putting it down because we said so. And they occupied Beijing.
Yes.
And I think they burned down like something.
And also, they put a bunch of opium in China. And opium is
and opened up all their ports.
Yes. Opium is very good for screwing over the government because then no one's working. They are smoking opium.
What you get for not selling us their tea.
Yeah, man. You should have
And
just
give us
sold
Hong
them the
Kong.
tea. Should have just sold them the tea, man.
But I can't wait to do an Opium Wars episode.
Oh, yeah.
That's got to happen soon.
We're going to have an Opium Wars episode.
Yeah, anyways.
Close for the Opium Wars episode.
I gotta stop plugging. I can't help myself.
Stop plugging stuff.
It's because history always builds on itself, so it makes it impossible without talking about other history first.
Oh, my God.
But yeah, basically that ended up happening, falling. This one guy became pretty popular, but didn't have the majority. So he had to talk to this guy with the biggest army, and General said, "Hey, do you want to be president in exchange to get China actually good?" And he's like, "Sure." Problem is, he was basically just another dictator.
Nice.
More or less just his own dynasty. Which I think it wasn't a dynasty. And then he decided to ban the party, which brought him to brought him to power.
Oh, power move right there.
He's like, that's what we were supposed to do, that Donkey Kong.
That wasn't supposed to happen.
Yeah.
No, that wasn't part of my plan.
Yeah. But then, that happened, and the problem was their government kind of sucked.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah,
and the peasants
and
love
then-
sucky governments.
And then the problem was a bunch of local warlords decided, like, if they're not going to enforce their laws, I'll enforce my own.
Yeah.
And then we see things such as Zhuangxi clique, as well as we see a bunch of other areas become independent. Tibet become independent. For now. For now.
Tibet was independent. For now.
And the best one yet, Tanotuba. Oh, yeah, man. Until it was annexed by the Soviet Union.
Lovely. But yeah, there were a bunch of warlords running around everywhere, and the government was trash.
And then eventually the other guy got out of power, and then this guy came up with the idea was we got to do nationalism. He was really good with his ideas. He thought ideas of nationalism, just.
Did he have the idea? Was he democracy?
I think he was in favor of democracy.
Nice. So he was a nationalist, democratic guy, which is all good stuff, actually.
And then he died before getting to power.
Yes.
And then his successor, I can't remember the top of my head. I'll come back to me eventually. It reminds me of the name of Shrek for some reason.
Chiang Kai-shek.
Yeah, Shek. That's what it reminds me of Shrek. That's how I remember it.
Kai-shek. Shrek.
Yeah, Shrek.
All he had to do was convert it to Shrek and he would have won.
Yeah.
Easy.
The problem is he wasn't able to take over that effectively, and he wasn't able to solve this issue.
He wasn't able to take
But
over
then he
the
came with a really good alliance. The Nationalists and the Communists came with this really good alliance. I know, this sounds like an alliance. Literally the opposite.
Sounds like
And that's
a
why it
match
fell
made
apart
in-
later.
Sounds like a match made in,
It sounds like a lot like a
hopefully
John
in the
Green
rest of the-
episode you're referencing.
Yes.
Plugging in Crash Course.
Yeah, shout out to Crash Course. Go subscribe to them because we have.
And then come
more
back and then tell
subscribers.
them to subscribe to us.
Yeah,
That'll be a completely fair trade.
totally fair trade. Our
How many subscribers do we have? Our, like 21.
oh my gosh, 20.
Almost
Two.
caught up to my main channel, man.
Your main channel is trash.
Hey.
Yeah, shout out to Andrew's channel.
Which I'm not going to link in description because I don't know.
Don't trust you guys. But yes, we do. We like our viewers.
I like our viewers. Please keep watching.
Please. It makes us.
You're
feel
the
good.
best money people we can. Just kidding. We don't make money
Profit.
anyway. We don't make any money anyway.
We don't make money.
So that was entirely a joke.
They're gonna demonetize.
Just like
us
our
anyway.
current income.
Yes, our current income a grand total of $0.
Yeah, man. Thank you for tripling your income last week.
Oh yeah, thank you guys.
Okay, enough of that. Those jokes. But basically, Shaq would try to keep China.
No, Kai-shek.
Kai-shek.
Say his whole last name, dude. Come on.
Kai-shek.
Come on.
Shrek. We're trying to keep it all together.
Shrek.
Trying to keep it all together. The problem was this idea. The Japanese were like, well, what if we had China?
I think you're skipping over some stuff. Because, you see, the Nationalist Army was going to go out and destroy a bunch of warlords in the First United Front thing.
Yeah.
And then the Communists, who came around about then, were like, hey, let's join that. That's a great idea.
And it worked pretty well
and they
for
went
a
out
while.
and killed them, the warlords. And then the Nationalists were like, hey, I don't like communists. Bang, you're dead.
Yeah, it worked for a while, and then they kind of went to like hated each other, and
And
it's
then they
like,
shot each
and
other.
it was like, hey, you're trying to spread socialist revolution. Well, we're communists. It's what we do.
Yes, but we're nationalists, and we don't like that. So bang,
And
dead.
bang, bang. The communists were almost defeated, and then they made this long trek. I think
Wasn't
it's
it called
the Great Trek? I think.
The Great Trek?
It was the Great.
Or was it like the Long Trek?
Yeah, it may have been. It was something like that. But basically, they took 90% of their men would die in this because they went all the way from the south of China and walked through a really mountainous area all the way to the north, where they could resupply and everything.
And get more men because
Yeah.
they killed a bunch of them.
Because socialism.
Socialism works.
Yeah, the fact that they managed to get out of this was almost.
It was basically a miracle for them.
I also like to mention the leadership on this side was Mao Zedong at this point. The guy
Yeah.
originally came up with this idea, died as well. Unfortunately, it wasn't a fair trade for the nationalists, and for the communists, it was a really great trade.
Baloney.
Mao was surprisingly good at least that.
He was good at talking to people and making them become communist.
I have a really good joke, but I can't say it. So we're gonna move on.
Dang. I feel...
Because I feel like it'd be considered racist, despite the fact that it's not even intended to be.
Yeah, you probably shouldn't say the joke then. We're
So-
gonna get demonetized.
Even if we're not getting monetized anyways.
Yep, we're gonna get demonetized.
We're gonna
anyway.
get monetized just to get demonetized.
They're going to put ads on the video and then demonetize us.
Yep.
That's how they do it.
I see it. That's what's gonna happen.
Anyway, so the communists got a big following now because of that long trek and Mao Zedong being
And then
a good leader.
We're gonna talk about Japan a little bit soon. In a second. Because it's just-
Isn't it? Don't we talk about Japan now? Because
Yeah, that is literally that comes up next.
Yeah,
But Japan in the East after World War I felt pretty good because they just helped win World War I, so in fact they didn't really do much. They got a bunch of German colonies, even though part of China should do things. China's like, can we have China back? And it was like, and it was like, how about I take it? And Japan's like, okay. And it's like, China's like, what?
What is this baloney?
And then Japan was like, I'm feeling pretty good. What if, since we have Korea, let's take this part called Manchuria, make it
Let's just take more.
Soviets
We
weren't-
need
weren't-
to win more.
And then the Soviets weren't happy about that, and they would have that whole war, which probably we'll talk about later.
the Sino-Japanese War.
This was the Soviet. This was the Russo-Japanese War. That would happen.
Are you sure it's not the Soviet or the Sino-Japanese War?
No, Sino-Japanese War is when Japan declared war on China. Japan would declare war on Russia. The whole conflict would happen, right?
And where Russia just got their butt kicked.
Yeah, and then they'd basically lose influence in China, and Japan would take all that influence. That's important detail to know because Japan, if they lost us, would not have continued on.
Yeah, no, they wouldn't. They would have stopped.
And this just embarrassed the Russians beyond everything. But
they're bad at fighting.
This will be important probably later, and we were talking about the rise of the Soviet Union.
Actually, the Soviet Union was bad at fighting the entire time that they were the Soviet Union. Their tactics included go at the enemy, and also the more sophisticated go towards the enemy and shoot them.
And the better strategy yet, you better go towards the enemy or I'll shoot you.
Exactly.
It's better that you waste a bullet from an enemy than ours.
This is the kind of incredibly sophisticated and efficient.
And this is what made everyone think that communism was a good idea.
Yes, the 20,000 plus casualties.
It's also important to know, but that note at this point, it's that Japan would invade Manchuria because they wanted more influence in the area. I'm not correct. The reason why they did this wasn't because a railroad was blown up, or that was why they invaded the rest of China. I think it was to invade the rest of China.
This Manchuria, if you didn't know, is north of China in south. It's basically of Siberia and
if
stuff.
You look at Russia on a map, you'll see like the whole long stretch panhandle coming off of Russia, taking that coastline, leading all the way to Vladivostok. Basically on the east coast of Asia. Basically that area, if you just draw a line from there to like diagonal line, you basically. Sorry for another interruption. I hope this won't happen again.
Probably not. We're just that good at recording. We don't even need
I was trying a new location today, and it appears that wasn't a great idea.
It was fine.
For the most part, other than that.
It was fine. 2 cuts, nothing. It's nothing.
That's still 2 more than we've ever had.
Well, you know what, Andrew? You can leave.
Well, good luck doing this by yourself.
I can do it by myself. I have knowledge.
Exit out.
Oh, you're gonna exit out that?
Yep. Anyways, we're gonna move on.
Get on with your baloney.
Anyways, Japan was invading Manchuria, and they kind of appealing to the League of Nations, saying, "We gotta stop this." And the guys like, "No, don't do that.
No, don't."
And Japan's like, "How do I do anyway?"
Nah, dude, not. How about I do anyway?
And then they did. Because the League of Nations kicked out Japan, and then they sanctioned Japan, but that's all they did because it didn't do anything.
Yeah, sanctions work every time.
Yeah.
Totally.
We're gonna probably get like a minor touch on World War II because we kind of have to, because it kind of combined with World War II at one point.
Yes.
So, Japan, doing Japan things and conquering stuff.
Yeah.
Conquered Manchuria.
Mm-hmm.
To be frank, they weren't happy with this.
Oh, China?
China.
Yeah, China wasn't very happy with being conquered.
Neither the communists or the nationalists were happy with this.
No.
The warlords would still be around even when Japan was invading. So,
yeah, warlords were anarchists.
Not really. It was just more.
They were anarchists in the sense that they don't like centralized government.
Yeah.
They preferred.
It's basically what Hungary was for the longest time, just a bunch of lords together with a quote unquote king.
Yes, who did nothing.
Just wanted to oppress their peasants together.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a different topic entirely. But basically, the nationalists and the communists would once again do another united front because the Japanese. Like, frankly, the communists were pretty good at keeping the Japanese.
Yes, the nationalists were too focused on fighting communists
because they would not trust them for a second.
No, never.
And this actually helped the communists because they would gain support for winning all these battles.
Yes, and the nationalists were not doing that. And so the peasants were like, what is this baloney?
Yeah.
We like the winning government.
And, communism, really good at harming the rich, poor. But, yeah, basically that ended up happening. And eventually, Japan would do this event you may have heard of, Pearl Harbor.
Oh, yes. Brilliant move. Absolutely outstanding move on their part.
Yeah, they did that. After doing that, Japan, America got involved in the war, and then National China's like, we can just relax a bit.
We can relax just a bit now, because the U.S. is trying to destroy Japan.
Yay!
Everything.
And then the nationalists were getting even less popular because they looked like they were weak.
Yep.
Because it was a technically good idea, but the peasants weren't having it.
Yep. No. So the communists were in favor.
Keep in mind, the communists still had like no territory right now.
Yeah, they had like no major cities. All they had were like mountain regions, like villages and stuff.
But that's when we need to talk about I forgot to mention around the 1930s, the Soviets still being economically prosperous because they had a new economy entirely. Because they weren't tied to any other economies. That's why the Great Depression hit everyone that wasn't like the Czechoslovakia, because Czechoslovakia was a brand new economy. It wasn't tied to any old ones. So when one crashed, all of them didn't crash. So Soviets having the access extra money started supporting the communists because that's what they do. They support communist movements.
Yeah, man, that's what you do.
You know, that's the whole thing was also helping them pretty well. And then World War II ended up going slightly poorly for Japan because Germany capitulated. It was
Meaning they surrendered.
That kind of happened. After that, the Soviets turned their attention to Japan and started invading Manchuria as fast as possible.
And Japan was like, "Oh nuts! We're already being destroyed in the Pacific."
And then America had this great idea to stop them occupying more land by nuking Japan twice.
Well, they didn't surrender after the first one, so you know.
Didn't they give them like a week and they didn't surrender?
Second time's the charm.
Yeah, and then they finally surrendered, and then we'd see the splitting of a few countries, which were like obviously Korea. We'd also see the splitting of Vietnam. We'd see like this, like stuff like that. That wasn't that important, but it just happened. I mentioned that.
Yeah.
And then basically Russia still occupied Manchuria because Civil War was still going on.
Of course.
And once Japan surrendered, they just immediately went back to each other's throats again.
Yeah.
Communists and nationalists. Then the nationalists just weren't good, honestly. They just weren't good.
They were garbage. They were not doing well. The peasants didn't like him.
And especially with Soviet support being directly on the board didn't help
And
either.
the communists getting Soviet support, and the fact that the nationalists were getting corrupt.
I mean, actually, World War II, right after World War II, actually, the nationalists did make some pretty good pushes, capturing quite a bit, gaining a little bit of territory. Then the Americans, not directly really supporting the nationalists, were like, come on, guys, call a ceasefire. And they did. And it gave the communists time to prepare.
And then they had an actual civil war. Like, it had been on and off for years, since like 27.
Yeah.
But now it was like full scale. This was during 47 it started.
Yeah.
46 or 47, and it was just absolute full scale war.
And due to the Soviet support, as well as just having decent tactics.
Yeah,
the communists are
garbage.
Oh, they took Beijing. Oh, they took Nanjing, which didn't get attacked by Japan.
They took
I forgot like the capital of Guangxi, Clique.
Andrew, are you seriously forgetting a geological location?
Geological
location as important as a capital?
Oh snap! I think it's just one Zeke. Honestly, I think it's the name of the city. It's like literally right after it.
Unbelievable, Andrew.
But basically, they captured that, which is where the nationalist whole was actually found. The whole, basically, the nationalists all as a whole started there.
Oh, founding place.
And they basically captured that, and then Mao declared the People's Republic of China.
Which is funny.
The People's... It's like calling your country the Democratic Republic of Korea. Cough, cough, that's Korea. Because you need to tell everyone that you're so democratic.
I thought it was the People's Democratic
No, no, it's not. I don't think it might be the People's Republic.
It might be the People's Democratic Republic of Korea.
I don't remember until I hit the second. Basically,
which is an oxymoron.
The point is that you're putting the word democratic in your name, so you need to specify how democratic you actually are. Like putting republic in your name is going to make you so much of a democratic state.
Oh, of course.
Well, yeah, that's a whole business. Okay, we're at 18 minutes. I'm going to make this work, so... I think I have another topic, maybe. I don't know. Let's see where this goes. Anyways,
will you continue with Mao's stuff he did after, like, the Communist Party and
might as well continue.
Some of the reforms?
But we haven't... Actually, we're not even finished yet. There's still some parts left to mention.
Alright, okay.
So, after the whole loss of the mainland, China was basically more or less unified, except for Tibet, which give it a minute.
Tibet didn't want to go back.
And then a few islands, and then Taiwan. Now, the government just retreated to Taipei, and they called the Republic of China, which is giving a bit much credit on democracy.
Yes, they're doing decent as a democracy.
Yeah, they weren't really a democracy right away, but they eventually became one.
Yes, now they're a democracy, which is why I like them a lot better.
And now China's claiming the rest of China, quote-unquote, Taiwan.
Yeah.
And that's all dispute still today, and that's the fun times, and I don't think we should get into that one just yet. as in modern day, that'd probably worth its own video. Basically, the reason why China was unable to take Taiwan is for a few reasons. One, they didn't really have a navy because they were like landlocked for the longest time. The Communist Party. I mean, it was lovely.
Yeah, they were landlocked, stuck in the
So you can't really expect them to take an island.
Yeah, no, they weren't able to take it out. So instead of taking it, they just shot shells at it
Forever and ever. And then eventually they got an agreement with the Americans to shoot every other day while the U.S. sends supplies the other day.
Yes, which doesn't... I don't see how that helps if they're still getting shot at.
But the one thing that they didn't to get used with the shells, a lot of the shells didn't actually blow up, so they reused all these shells to make things use blacksmith stuff. There's a guy in Taiwan's really famous for that. Well, so basically, you gave himself some free metal. I mean,
free resources. And then later they just stopped shooting.
And then Taiwan shot something really deadly back. Propaganda pamphlets.
Oh, the propaganda pamphlets. The bane of communist existence.
I know, I was trying to tell stuff like democracy's a good thing.
And pointing out the flaws in communism. Oh my gosh, you can't have that.
Pointing out the fact that they're not following true Marxism as well.
Oh my gosh. The animals over in Taiwan. Just no mercy.
Yeah, that was just unbelievable.
And so then China, the big one, started firing pamphlets of their own, and that's basically what they were doing.
It was also important to note that the UN member seat was China was Taiwan for basically all the way to the 70s.
Yeah, and then they swapped it out for the bigger China because
trade.
That's it?
Yep.
God dang it.
And also Soviet, it's just completely and utterly boycotted the UN before the transfer of China to China.
Nobody likes the Soviet Union anyway.
That's the reason why the UN voted in favor of getting involved in Korea, because they weren't there to veto it. It just reminded me of the creation of the UN where Britain was occupying the south of Iran and then Soviet Union was occupying the north. And then Britain agreed to leave. And somebody's like, you know what? We're going to stay for a while. All in favor of kicking out the Soviet Union. Say, everyone, you know what? You guys suck.
You know what? Fine, I'll leave. Jeez. I was going to go eventually. You guys didn't have to pull this.
Oh yeah, surprisingly the West is slightly aggressive towards
communist states.
I know, it's just the Soviet Union in general.
Nobody likes the Soviet Union anyway. Except for the crazy people nowadays who are saying that we should have socialism in the U.S.
Fun fact, Stalin's popularity in Russia is recently increased.
Of course it did. There are crazy people.
Mussolini's grandson's got into right-wing politics.
Yeah, I've seen this one
and
before.
Japan is trying to undo their constitution to build up their military more, and Japan's starting to build up their military in general. This reminds me of a certain world event.
Wait a minute.
And France is going through another large protest. But again, when's that not happening?
Yeah, man, they're having 999 revolutions per minute.
So that one's not that big of a deal.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, before you know it, we're gonna see another opium war.
Oh boy.
But yeah, that's the whole of that. We're currently at 11 minutes, so we're at 23 minutes. So we got a little bit. So let's talk about some Mao's.
Let's talk about some Mao Zedong, the leader of the Communist Party.
Fun fact: Mao is a pretty fun card game.
Mao, the card game. If you ever want to look that up, it's really fun. Me and the guys play it. It's pretty good stuff.
Then there's the other Mao.
Then there's the not fun times Mao, who will kill you.
Actually, it is fun times. He's required to say it is.
Yes, sorry. I am going to get killed by the secret police now because I said it wasn't fun times. Dang.
Do you have his little red book?
No.
That's even more.
No, please.
And before you know it, they're gonna take those challenges, pictures of Jesus, put up pictures of Mao. Oh wait, they did that.
Oh. We can't have Jesus. We need the more important pictures
Thou shalt know other gods except for Mao. Thou shalt not use the Communist Party's name in vain.
Because if you do, the secret police will find you.
But that's all the joke. That's modern China thing, and we'll get to that eventually.
Nothing happened June 4th, 1989 in Tiananmen Square.
Yeah, man. Oh my gosh, why is nothing happening?
Whoa!
Yeah. Don't worry, we'll acknowledge Rampant Night King as soon as you guys acknowledge the Tiananmen Square massacre.
What happened?
I mean, what? I mean, yeah, exactly.
Nothing happened though. Oh, I see.
But yeah, that's that whole business.
Yeah. We'll talk about one of Mao's better ideas.
The Great Leap Backward. I mean, Great Leap Forward.
Back forward. Forward. That's what they said it was.
In my textbook, it says Great Leap
That's
Backward.
what the textbook says. So it's the Great Leap Forward, where he decided to increase steel production. You should have peasants who don't know how to make steel
In their backyard with furnaces.
Yes.
And surprisingly, people that don't know how to make steel make bad steel.
They do? Whoa!
And it all initially worked for like a small amount of like, growth, and then it kind of.
Then
crap.
the agriculture tanked.
Because
No
they were
one had
paying all
food.
this industry, they were paying the Soviets in grain, so they kind of lost all that grain they produced.
Yeah, so they had no food.
And
so
then we saw the Great
starved.
Famine, which they would completely censor.
Yeah, no, there was no Great Famine.
Speaking of
Andrew,
great-
clearly.
Speaking of Great Famines, Ireland, Soviet Union.
Yeah.
We'll get to this
I
eventually.
feel bad about that Soviet Union one though, because those Ukrainians never did anything.
Basically, how it worked is you're farming, and if you don't meet your grain quota, then you don't eat the grain you made. That was fun.
Fair is fair.
You can't. If I can't have any, you can't either.
I got him.
But that was that whole business.
Oh wait, we should talk about his other great idea.
Oh yeah. So basically, just to finish up before we go into like something like the Cultural Revolution,
That's what I was talking
just like quickly to mention one other thing is that Mao would basically try to give a bunch of the land and then collectivize farming, similar to the Soviets did. 'Cause that's like a big thing of Marxism,
about. Oh yes, collective farms.
which surprisingly did literally nothing to their output.
Yes, it still
Other than
made
they
them
probably
trash.
actually made it worse.
Yes, it was. I'm impressed. They somehow made it worse.
Because the one thing you gotta remember about communism is the central state is the thing. And the thing is, you get rid of all these wealthy landlords. And now there's no one to oppose your authority. Who's the thought process there? The peasant. I swear this won't happen too much more.
Oh boy, like I said, 2 cuts.
It's 3 now. Yeah.
It was 3 overall in all of our episodes that we've ever done. It's 3.
And 3 today that we're actually in our recording session.
Oh, baloney.
But it was breaking that fourth wall.
Why are you doing this, Andrew?
Anyways,
Just
back
had
on
to break the 4th wall, didn't you?
back on topic. But basically, the whole collectivized farming didn't help
Ever.
at all.
It was bad. It just made more people starve.
People can express their dislike of the government unless they want to die.
Hey, that's key communist policy right there.
You gotta get rid of that bourgeoisie propaganda in the media.
You can express your opinions
In
Siberia.
I swear we use that quote like every other episode.
It's a good quote, man.
It is. It is quite the quote.
Yeah, man.
I need to have like I favorite that now for later, just to have the Photoshop that in every single time. Put that in there.
Be amusing, to say the least.
It happens all the time, I swear.
Yeah.
But,
Anyway.
So I guess we'll just quickly talk about the Cultural Revolution, just very, very briefly, because we don't have too much time to get into it.
Yeah, we'll just talk a bit about the Cultural Revolution, because that was lovely.
It was.
It was so much fun.
So basically, Mao, seeing the whole de-Stalinization thing, where Khrushchev thought that Stalin wasn't the nicest person,
What?
and thought that we should pull back a bit on that.
Utter insanity.
And then Mao, fearing the same thing was happening because he was kind of similar to Stalin, decided that, what if I purge all of history and put myself as the foundation?
Brilliant.
And then destroy the 4 evils, basically relics of the past, and just pretty much all the issue here was you basically gave a bunch of people the ability to rebel against their parents, their teachers, their bosses.
Any kind of authority figure that didn't agree wholeheartedly with the party became an enemy to the party.
Basically, I was like, I feel like classified farming isn't quite the best method. Oh my god!
Oh my gosh!
It's basically back in the day of like if the people accusing them of being a witch.
You be a witch!
Burn her. Or the exact opposite of the Red Scare.
Yes.
where it's literally the opposite. Instead of being ousted from society for being a communist, you'd be ousted if you weren't a communist, and probably also killed.
Or at the very least, beaten by an angry mob.
Maybe cannibalized. That happened in the South during the Cultural Revolution. Basically, the youth were very affected by this, and we'd see them all joined in the Red Guard.
Yeah, the Red Guard was this big organizational thing that was bad. It was a bunch of like teenagers with no self-control running around beating the crap out of people with government support of this.
Yeah, and then Mao decided that he came down with a lethal case of dying.
He came down with a case of dead.
My favorite quote, the way I think I've ever heard that used, is like, he came down with a lethal case of being shot in the head. Mao did not have that happen, so I mentioned that.
He didn't have the lethal case of shot in the head.
You know, maybe next time.
Maybe next time.
But, yeah. That was unfortunate for Mao anyways. And then, his sister would take over, and it was like, what we do, like, chill?
Maybe to have the Red Guard chill.
Basically what happened to Stalin, except for a lot less. Stalin was looked at a little bit more negatively than Mao was. Mao was still basically God.
Yeah, China still adores Mao because no one knows what he's
And they
done.
blamed the entirety of the Cultural Revolution on his wife, and they said the Cultural Revolution was 70% right and 30% wrong.
How do you even be 70% right with destroying ancient relics?
Simple. No one's allowed to argue against you.
Ultimate debate team tactic. We are now imposing Chinese communism during any debate that we have, where they just can't argue with us or they'll die.
It's called, I'm not going to say that because I'm not allowed to get political. I'm not supposed to get political. But I think we need more road signs.
Oh my god!
Oh god, that's way too political.
Keep your political opinions to yourself.
Okay, we got like 30 seconds. Anything you want to say, James?
I don't like communism.
Tiananmen Square, June 4th. Just say Tiananmen Square, and if you're playing any kind of online game against someone and they're from China and you just don't like them, just type in Tiananmen Square in the chat and they'll automatically get disconnected from the internet.
Yeah. That's the pro strats right there.
Well, you're right to give a thumbs up to anyone in Iraq.
I'm going to advise you to not actually do that because I'm nicer than Andrew. That is kind of like the middle finger there for some odd reason.
Fun fact, a bunch of American soldiers in North Korea just said that, did the middle finger and said it meant peace. And then eventually they figured it out and got beat.
What do you think you're doing?
Hey, it means peace. If I was that episode of Rick and Morty.
Peace. I told him it meant, what did he say? Was it peace between worlds or love between worlds?
Yeah, something like that.
Isn't that hilarious?
And then they did the exact thing the one guy did.
And then the one guy did the same thing when he went to his microverse.
Yeah. Anyways, that's
yeah, we're going to call it there, folks. Thanks for tuning in for this episode of Tweedle Time.
Special, what was next? Next one when it gets posted and recorded will be a special one.
Yeah.
Actually, no, I take it back. It's basically... this week's will not be special that's posted, not the next one, but the one after that that's going to get posted will be special.
Yes, it's going to be a topic near and dear to our hearts.
I'm going to leave this one.
Not going to spoil it?
I'll leave this one special.
Oh, snap.
I want to celebrate the important thing that happened on May 18th. The year. Ready for this? What happened that day? Spain adopted the euro. No, I'm joking. That actually is historically accurate.
Oh, great.
But no, that's not that part that matters. But no, I'm gonna figure out a really fun topic that my choice for no particular reason.
Oh yes, there's no annual happening for Andrew that's of significance.
Not at all.
No. But yeah, if you guys can guess this, I'll be surprised, but not terribly. We're very.
It was the day
about
when
this.
it's his 1 year anniversary of his cat. You got me, guys.
Oh dang.
Spoiler alert, it isn't that.
Oh gosh, wow, I'm just spoiling it for him.
Spoiler of Endgame. Endgame ends.
Oh my gosh. Andrew, why would you put Endgame
Did you know
spoilers?
Endgame as it contains the most Endgame spoilers?
Oh my gosh, I can't go see Endgame now.
Okay, that's probably by the time this was posted, I feel like that's not going to be relevant information.
Yeah, I might have seen it by that point. Anyway, we gotta go.
Bye guys.
Bye.